What is up, ladies and gentlemen? KevGret is back, and today I want to bring you some opinions about Arcade1up, not from me, not from the usual members of the community, but from someone who's outside. And that man is who you see right on the screen, DSP Gaming. You know DSP, like him, hate him, he is a gamer. He's been around forever. He'll probably be around once the bombs drop. It'll be Keith Richards and DSP. He'll still be streaming during the apocalypse. This guy survives everything. But what I wanted to do was highlight today uh, a question that was asked to DSP about Arcade One Up. And not many people have seen this because it was far into his podcast, and it's basically another another opinion about Arcade One Up. This community is the same 300 people. We've all heard our same opinions. We get it. I don't like One Up. You like One Up. You work for One Up. You shill for One Up. We get it. We know. But what happens when other people give their opinions? Is it the same as some of the members of the community, or what is he saying here? So I just want to play this. It's only a few minutes long and then we'll get out of here, but I want you to hear some of his thoughts. So let's check this out.
Uh, so Bono's Tecmo says, what do you think about MVC?
Let's just stop it there. Bo knows Tecmo. Shout out to Big Bo knows Tecmo. He's the one that asked DSP this question. He's a member of the community. Great job getting his thoughts on this, Bo knows, because we need other people's thoughts. Hearing the same 200 people's opinions gets old. So shout out to Bo.
T2 and NFL Blitz Arcade 1Up cabinet still not being online. The NFL Blitz is just hitting beta. Yeah, so if you guys remember, over the summer, I did a harsh criticism of Arcade 1Up. This is a business that makes replica arcade cabinets that are basically shrunken down and sold for home use. And I explained how basically they're not accurate to real arcade cabinets. They're way smaller. The parts are probably not arcade standard, especially a lot of these cabinets are using American style parts when Americans stopped using American style parts in the early 2000s and started using Japanese style. So basically what they're doing is they're selling you an arcade cabinet with a screen, a bunch of like fiberboard wood that's kind of low grade. It's way too small for what it should be. Lower grade controls, and they're charging you exorbitant amounts of money. Over the summer, they were charging, what was it, like $600, $700 for the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet, which included Marvel 2, and then a bunch of other games that had already previously been in their cabinets, like Marvel 1, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, etc.
Yeah.
And when they sold this game, they said, oh, we've unlocked Marvel 2 because Marvel 2 was not available for anyone to purchase until this. So this is your limited time way to buy Marvel 2. You absolutely need to buy it. And by the way, these cabinets will have online play and connectivity so you can play against people all over the world who own this cabinet. It's the only way to play Marvel 2 online. So they put these out during EVO. They paid Justin Wong money to promote this cabinet during EVO, so he does. Tons of people buy the cabinet. And they just shipped recently, and a lot of people were just getting their cabinets within the last month. So, on a whim, I decided I would check out a few of the reviews of the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not found a single positive review of the cabinet yet, and I've watched 3 different ones. Every person who bought this cabinet is disappointed. Okay?
Let's just stop it there. Arcade One Up, was it worth it? Was it worth releasing this cabinet in the state it's in? And so now you have all these videos that say it's not good. All you've done was damaged your reputation with your buying audience. And now when someone, DSP, who knows, Google's, YouTube's MVC2 reviews, this is what they get. So you've created this now. You've done this. You've released a broken cabinet. The reviews aren't that good. And now people are catching on that, hey, for $700, this ain't worth it.
Person noted that it actually has input lag, and they tried to do tweaks to fix it to try to get around it. But they're like, for the price you paid for this, it shouldn't have input lag. It should be good. And out of the box, it's not. They make you kind of fuck with the cabinet to try to make it run better, which makes no sense. It should be good out of the box. Why do you have to have someone messing with the cabinet to make it run like a tournament cabinet? Another person
Let's just stop it there real quick. Keep in mind, guys, DSP is a professional gamer. He does fight community gaming. So he knows what he's talking about when it comes to sticks, buttons, emulation, frames. He knows what he's talking about. You know, whatever you think of DSP, you like him or don't like him, he knows what he's talking about here.
noted that most of the time when you order Arcade1up, it's damaged. Previously he had ordered 2 other cabinets, and every time one of the panels gets destroyed in shipping. Now apparently they're really good about replacing them. The problem is then they have to ship it to you again, which means it could get damaged again. So one guy was unboxing it. He had a big chunk missing from the side. I was like, oh, that's terrible, right? You pay all that money, like $600-700, and the fucking thing has a giant chunk missing out of it. Some people hooked it up, and they were, what was it? Oh, yeah, it's American controls. That makes no sense to me, all right? The era of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was when American arcades realized that American-style controls are not good for competitive play. We didn't know that until, like, the late 90s, all right? Admittedly, we always played with the American-style buttons, the weird American joysticks. These are so different. Japanese-style joysticks are very different. They're smaller, and they're way more responsive, and their buttons are I forget the difference between, it was concave and convex. One of them means it's like a dome, so when you push it, it responds more quickly. The other means it's like a valley, like this, like a bowl. So when you press that button, it's harder to get a response because it takes longer for your button to actually depress because it's kind of caved in. So is it concave versus convex? So you want a convex button. Japanese style buttons are convex like this because there's better response time. Americans all had the concave for the longest time. So after all these years of having these terrible controls, people realized, man, the Japanese know what they're doing. So everyone just started ordering the Japanese buttons. Usually Sanwa was the company that made the buttons that were the best, and the Japanese style joysticks. And you could have Sanwa or Famitsu brand joysticks. They don't even put tournament grade parts into their cabinets. Why? They're not expensive. It's just laziness. Like, they don't.
Let's just stop it there. Like I said, DSP knows what he's talking about. It all comes down to they don't care. It's all about the money. This cabinet should have the highest quality parts, and I believe Rexer's proved that these parts aren't that expensive. DSP just said it wasn't that expensive. It's a couple bucks a cabinet. There's no reason. If this is the holy grail, the shiny of shiniest, you should pimp it out with the best. Don't expect your users to do this. And DSP is spot on. You shouldn't be buying this and then have to change things to make it run right. And, he definitely knows what he's talking about here.
Don't care about putting in good quality shit. They're just trying to make maximum dollar
Boom.
when they sell you these shitty cabinets.
Yep.
Okay?
That's all it is.
So I've seen 3 different reviews, and the biggest complaint between all 3 reviews, listen to this. So during EVO, when they advertised it, they said this is the only way to buy Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for your home and play it against others online. You can't play it online. You go to use it, says, oh, this is not available yet. Coming soon. Some people have had their cabinet for over a month and it's still not available. The company has not communicated with anyone when they're actually going to add online functionality to the cabinets. So imagine dropping $700 to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2, being told this you could play it online against anyone who owns the cabinet. You can't do it. It just sits there unplayed in your house because you have no one to play it against. Right?
Let's just stop it there. He's 100% right. The things that we put up in this community that we think is normal is not normal. Is it normal to buy a cabinet and then spend $200 to get the cabinet to the specs that you think it should be with marquees? Is it normal to go think you have to buy a $15 attachment to make your blitz run better? The stuff that we've as a community accepted, we think it's normal. It's not normal to the outside, and DSP is perfectly summing it up here.
Pretty fucked up. It's called false advertising.
Yes, it is.
They did not say coming later. They said it's just in the cabinet, and they sold it to everyone. And then afterward, they revealed, oh, it's not ready yet. So
to this day, nobody has called them out for that. Not one person in this community. Well, no, that's not true. We have. I can name you 4 or 5 people that have called them out for this exact thing. They knew at Evo it wasn't ready. They knew on the streams it wasn't ready. They never told you till it shipped. They never told you till you bought it. And they're not telling you to this day. So again, normal behavior accepted by the community. It's not normal behavior overall to buy products and then hope that it's getting right. Look at Blitz. It just hit beta and it's not 100% functional. I don't care what anybody says. So again, normalized behavior by this community is something that we need to take a look at.
That's literally illegal. You cannot sell something saying it has a feature that it doesn't have. It's
He's
not possible,
he's right.
right?
Yeah.
That'd be like selling you a car and saying it has anti-lock brakes. You buy the car and it doesn't have anti-lock brakes. They say, "Oh, we're gonna install those on your car 8 months later."
Yep.
No, I
Exactly.
paid for anti-lock brakes. You owe them to me. If you said they was there and they're not there, you broke the law. That's actually false representations. It's fraud. So they committed fraud
Yeah.
selling any of these cabinets that don't have online play when they promised it at launch.
He's
So
100% right.
that's pretty fucked up, quite frankly. And
Yep.
I think that these things are a giant ripoff. Just being honest, right? And the fact, I hate to say it, Justin Wong, he did a bad thing here. He should have, if he's going to represent that company and he's going to shill it at Evo and get tons of people to buy it like they did,
Yep.
he should have done his research. He didn't. He took a paycheck.
Yep.
And now he advertised the thing that's inferior. It's an inferior product. Input lag, inferior controls. Most of these things get damaged in shipping and no online play. $700. Jesus Christ. That's fucked up.
That's fucked
right?
up.
So, not good. But you got to be careful. Buyer beware, as they say. Here's the thing. I knew those cabinets were shit because I saw one at a Fry's store 2 years ago, before Fry's went out of business. My wife and I had gone to one, and this is just when Arcade1up was just starting to make these cabinets. And there was one, I forget which arcade game it was. It might have been like Asteroids or something like that. I'm looking at it and I'm like, that looks terrible, right? It's tiny, first of all. It's like it's a size that's so scaled down that there's no way that 2 people would even be able to like fit at the cabinet. Only one person can realistically play it at a time. You can't fit 2 people to play like a fighting game. It would never fit. It's too small. I tried playing on it and it just seemed flimsy. Like the thing wasn't like weighty. So as you're playing on it, you could feel like the cabinet can kind of move around. I'm like, can you imagine how much people play? And that one I think was $500, and that was like an old school game. Now, can you imagine paying like $600-700 for what's supposed to be like a representative of a fighting game, and it's shit? You know what I mean? Like, people just get duped. You're these collector. Oh, I'm a collector. I love retro games. Well, were you there back in the day when arcades existed? Did you ever play a real arcade game in the 90s? No. But you have a whole room full of these. Yeah. Oh, okay.
let's just stop it there. He just hit on something that is so right. This community is in love with the romanticizing of a feeling from their childhood. And they fill the rooms with these things, thinking it's going to evoke the feelings of them being 12 years old. It's not, but it just gives them the feeling of seeing asteroids and Defender in their house. It's no different than a 40-year-old man buying a convertible because he needs to feel something, that he's not feeling. But DSP hits it. Half these people didn't play these arcades. It's just the thought of them. And some community members actually admit they don't play them. They line them up. It's furniture to them. So, it's funny to hear other people say what we say in the community, but it's not coming from the usual suspects. So I think there's only a minute or 2 left. We'll wrap it up. We'll get you out of here.
So we really know you know what you're doing, right? Anyway, it's a ripoff. Don't my recommendation, unless they significantly improve the quality of these, don't get them. They just don't look good to me at all. From what I've seen, they look like a ripoff to me. Okay?
All right. He ends it with, don't buy them till they improve the quality. And he is 100% right again. People think that we hate Arcade1up. I have multiple Arcade1ups, you know. The problem is they don't care anymore, their quality is going down. We're just trying to get them to do better, and they're not. They haven't. Let's just be honest. Nobody in this community, even the shills, they can't go live and say that these cabinets are 100% amazing for 700, 800 bucks. So, let's just end it here. What do you think of DSP giving his thoughts on Arcade1up? I thought it would be nice to throw another opinion out there. You know, we're tired of hearing the same 200, 300 old grumpy men argue in the chats about their toys. So I thought it was cool to bring a person and hear his opinion that has 250,000 subscribers. What he just said on his stream reaches more than all the other community streams combined. So put it in the chat. Love him, hate him. There's his opinion on Arcade1up. Thank you, Bo Knows Tecmo, getting a DSP to talk about this. I appreciate it. I'll talk to everybody soon. I'll have another video shortly. See ya.